In 1961, then President of the United States John F. Kennedy announced, "We will send humans to the moon within 10 years, which led to the launch of the Apollo program. As he declared, on July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 successfully achieved humanity's first moon landing. Following that, the Apollo program carried out a total of 6 moon landings, but the program was terminated after Apollo 17. The Apollo program not only accomplished the first human moon landing, but also significantly advanced the development of rockets, spacecraft, and related technologies. At the time, the United States was in a Cold War with the Soviet Union, and through this program, it shifted global attention from conflict to space, promoting human unity. In other words, the Apollo program was not merely about exploring the moon. It became a symbol of hope in a dark era. However, beyond humanity's giant leap, the vast darkness of space may have concealed unexpected and unknown entities.
Black Studio.
Good evening, this is Black Studio. Today's video is an analysis of the Apollo program. The Apollo missions, which marked humanity's first steps on the moon, have been surrounded by countless rumors. Why was the Apollo program discontinued? What did the astronauts witness on the moon? Today, I would like to introduce some of the stories said to be lurking behind the Apollo program. The Apollo program was initially planned to launch up to Apollo 20, but it was discontinued after Apollo 17. One of the main reasons cited for this was the cost. Conducting a single manned lunar exploration required an enormous amount of funding, and the entire Apollo program cost approximately $120 billion. After Apollo 11 successfully landed on the moon, NASA's budget was gradually reduced, making it impossible to continue the program. Political factors also played a significant role. When a president who was supportive of space exploration was in office, funding was allocated, but when a less enthusiastic president took over, the budget was cut, leading to the cancellation of projects initiated by their predecessors. Furthermore, from a technological standpoint, the risks associated with lunar missions were difficult to fully anticipate and mitigate with the technology available at the time. As new issues emerged, improvements in spacecraft and spacesuit performance were required. Due to these political and technological factors, the Apollo program was terminated, and manned lunar exploration was halted for 50 years after Apollo 17. However, this was the official reason, and there are rumors that a different reason was behind the program's termination. One theory suggests that astronauts who traveled to the moon as part of the Apollo missions encountered something lurking on the moon, and further exploration was deemed too dangerous, leading to the program's cancellation. In fact, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin stated in a 2005 documentary that, on our way to the moon, we saw a bright light outside the window. The lights were moving in a series, approaching our spacecraft as if covering it. He attempted to report this to Houston, but refrained due to concerns over causing panic. Instead, he, along with Mission Commander Neil Armstrong and Command Module Pilot Michael Collins, observed the flying object inside the spacecraft. Fortunately, the object did not appear hostile, and the mission proceeded as planned. Furthermore, transcripts from the Apollo 12 mission contain statements like, "The visitors are here again, and it's not even worth mentioning anymore," giving the impression that the presence of other entities on the moon was taken for granted. There are also claims regarding Apollo 13. Officially, it was said that the spacecraft sustained damage while retaining only the minimum functionality needed to return to Earth. However, a former NASA communications officer claimed that the mission was sabotaged by the moon's inhabitants. According to him, the true purpose of Apollo 13 was to conduct an explosion experiment on the lunar surface to study its internal structure and the effects of explosives in space. Allegedly, the lunar inhabitants detected this plan and intentionally damaged the spacecraft while ensuring it could still return to Earth. Whether these stories are true remains uncertain. However, recently declassified U.S. government documents reveal that in 1970, when Apollo 13 was launched, a nuclear explosion experiment in space was planned. This raises the possibility that Apollo 13 was indeed sent to the moon for such an experiment. NASA has recently announced the Artemis program, aiming to conduct manned lunar missions again by 2024 and establish a lunar base by 2028. Has our relationship with them changed over the past 50 years, or has the Apollo program secretly continued? Let's keep an eye on the Artemis program's progress and see what new information emerges. Today, we have introduced you to some of the stories whispered about behind the scenes of the Apollo program. There's no end to the stories about space, but what do you think about the Apollo program? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Well, see you in the next video.